It all started harmlessly when they planned a bachelorette party for Emily's best friend, Natalie, before her wedding in Miami. With a cheerful smile, Emily assured me while packing her suitcase, "It's just for 2 days. We'll sip cocktails, relax on the beach, and celebrate Natalie's last days as a single woman." But when Emily returned, something felt off. At first, I couldn't quite figure out what it was. She was quieter than usual, distracted, almost as if her mind was somewhere else. That evening, as we sat on the couch, her phone buzzed. She quickly grabbed it, let out a nervous laugh, and placed it face down on the table. "Who was that?" I asked. She answered too quickly, still excited from her trip. Maybe I should have pressed her for more, but instead, I brushed it off, convincing myself I was just imagining things. A week passed, and Emily's odd behavior continued. She seemed jittery and distant, staying up late and endlessly scrolling through her phone until the early hours. She also started avoiding any kind of intimacy, dismissing my attempts with excuses about being stressed or exhausted. One night, I finally decided to confront her. Standing in the doorway of our bedroom with my arms crossed, I said, "Emily, what's going on?" She looked up from her phone, startled. "I don't know what you mean," she replied. She hesitated for a second, her face turning pale, but then forced a smile. "Of course not, Ryan. You're overthinking." I wanted to believe her, so I pushed my doubts aside. 2 days later, Emily went out for a walk. As I was getting ready to leave, I couldn't find my car keys. I checked the drawer by the door and the kitchen counter, but they were nowhere to be seen. Then, I remembered, Emily had borrowed my car earlier that morning because hers had broken down. I walked over to her purse, which was hanging by the coat rack. As I reached inside for the keys, my fingers brushed against a crumpled receipt. Curious, I pulled it out and read the words, "Miami Ink Tattoo Studio." The date matched the weekend of her bachelorette trip. When Emily returned home, her eyes widened as I held up the receipt. She stammered, "Oh, Natalie dared me to get a tiny one there." "Where's the tattoo?" I asked, skeptical. After a brief pause, Emily hesitantly lowered the waistline of her jeans, revealing a small heart near her hip. At first glance, it seemed innocent enough. But when I looked closer, my stomach dropped. Inside the heart, a delicate letter R was etched. "What is this, Emily?" My voice hardened. Her cheeks flushed as she shifted uncomfortably. Then, she forced a nervous smile. "I thought it was a cute gesture for Ryan," she said lightly. "But it's really not a big deal." My chest tightened. I nodded slowly, though every instinct screamed at me to dig deeper. The next day, I called Natalie, keeping my tone casual. "Quick question. What's the story behind Emily getting a tattoo in Miami?" A short silence. Then, Natalie hesitantly replied, "It was a wild night. She was, pretty drunk." That didn't sit right with me. Emily wasn't a heavy drinker, and she definitely wasn't someone to get a tattoo on a whim. That night, I did something I never thought I would. I snooped. While Emily was in the shower, her phone lit up on the coffee table. A message appeared. The sender's name, Megan. But the words made my blood run cold. "I want to see you again." A knot formed in my stomach. Something was very wrong. She had changed her passcode since Miami, but I knew her well enough to guess it. After 2 tries, I was in. I opened the chat with Megan. It was empty, except for that one message. Suspicious, I copied the number and saved it to my phone. When Emily came out of the shower, I asked, "Who's Megan?" Her eyes widened for a brief second before she forced a smile. "Oh, Megan? She's a coworker, a friend." I didn't believe her. Her nervous laugh and evasive tone only deepened my suspicion. The next day, unable to shake the feeling, I called the number I had saved from her phone. After a few rings, a man's voice answered. "Hello." My throat went dry. "Hi, I'm looking for Megan," I said, my voice unsteady. The man paused. Then he said, "There's no Megan here, dude. You must have the wrong number." I froze. My heart pounded. Muttering a quick apology, I hung up. My face burned with a mix of anger and confusion. That night, while Emily dozed off on the couch, exhausted, I reached for her phone once more. I found the conversation with Megan hidden in Emily's archived messages. My stomach dropped as I scrolled through them. The dates aligned perfectly with her trip to Miami. My hands trembled as I pieced everything together. This wasn't just paranoia anymore, it was betrayal. "Last night was amazing," Megan's first message read. "I can't stop thinking about you and can't wait to see you again." I stared at the screen, my heart pounding. As I continued reading, the next contact name that appeared made my hands shake even more. I squinted, struggling to process what I was seeing. I took a deep breath and kept scrolling. "That was the happiest night of my life," Megan had written. But Megan wasn't real. Emily had used a woman's name to hide the fact that she was talking to a man, Richard. My throat tightened as I read Emily's replies. Her messages weren't just playful flirting, they were deep, emotional confessions. She told Richard how he made her feel paralyzed, how she couldn't stop thinking about him. Then I saw something that made my blood run cold. Emily had sent Richard private photos and videos of them together, naked, engaged in the most intimate acts. I couldn't tear my eyes away from the screen. Every image, every video was a painful reminder of her ultimate betrayal. My heart pounded, and a sickening feeling twisted in my stomach. But it didn't end there. I sat frozen, my mind racing, staring at the screen, unable to process what I was seeing. My world had just collapsed. The woman I loved and trusted had shattered everything we had built. Then the realization hit me. The tattoo, the tiny heart on her hip with a letter inside, wasn't for me. It was for Richard. The truth crushed me, but something inside me snapped. I couldn't let this go unanswered. With shaking hands, I transferred all the photos, videos, and messages to my phone, every piece of evidence of her betrayal. Then, I deleted Richard's chat from her phone, so she wouldn't know I had discovered the truth. The next morning, I wasted no time. I made an appointment with a divorce lawyer. The lawyer's office was cold and professional, but for the first time in days, my mind was clear. I had worked too hard for everything, my bank accounts, my properties, and I wasn't about to let Emily take any of it from me. I left that office with a new sense of determination. The hardest part was yet to come. Emily would be home soon. It was the longest day of my life. I sat at the kitchen table, carefully typing a single text message, one that would expose everything. Every word had to hit hard. I attached the photos, texts, and videos, making sure everyone, our friends, family, everyone who deserved to know the truth, would see the evidence of Emily's affair with Richard. Then, I heard the front door open. My heart pounded. Emily walked in, smiling at me until she noticed the phone in my hand. Her smile vanished. "Ryan, what's going on?" she asked, her voice shaky. I didn't say a word. I just handed her the phone. She stared at the screen, scrolling through the messages, the pictures, the videos. Her betrayal was right there, undeniable. Emily stammered, "Ryan, I can explain, please." I cut her off. "You've been lying to me this entire time. Is this what you've been doing behind my back? Who is Richard, Emily? What is this?" Her eyes darted between the phone and the floor. Her lips trembled, her face pale. She opened her mouth, but the words wouldn't come out. Finally, she whispered, "I didn't mean for it to happen. I was drunk, it was just one mistake." I let out a bitter laugh. "One mistake? Emily, you slept with him twice. You even got a tattoo for him and lied to me about it." Tears streamed down her face. "I'm sorry, Ryan. It was the biggest mistake of my life." I clenched my jaw, my anger boiling over. "The biggest mistake of your life? You told him it was the best night of your life. Who are you trying to fool?" Her sobs grew louder, but I was done listening. "I can't even look at you right now," I said coldly. "You made your choices, Emily. Now you'll face the consequences." "What do you mean?" she asked, panic creeping into her voice. I met her gaze, my voice steady. "I filed for divorce." Her face went white. "And now? Everyone knows the truth. Everyone knows what you've done." Emily's breath hitched. You can't do this." I shook my head. "You don't get to play the victim here, Emily. This is all on you." The fallout was swift. Emily's family saw the evidence, the photos, texts, videos, and they were just as shocked as I was. My friends and family rallied behind me, supporting me every step of the way. The divorce was quick. I made sure to protect everything I had worked for, the house, the cars, the accounts. Emily left with nothing. Time passed, and the pain faded. The woman I once loved, the life we once shared, it was all gone. But I was stronger now. The truth, as painful as it was, had set me free. Emily became nothing more than a memory, disappearing from my life along with the world we had built together. And I had no regrets. I had survived. And I had moved on, stronger, wiser, and free.